stop everything you're doing right now. I'm about to prove to you that this exact moment you're experiencing, sitting here, breathing, being aware, this isn't just a moment in time. According to both ancient mystics and cutting-edge neuroscience, this is literally God expressing as you. I know that sounds impossible, but by the end of this video, you'll understand why every single problem in your life, your anxiety, your confusion, your feeling of separation, all of it dissolves the moment you truly understand what this present moment actually is. We're not talking about philosophy here. Harvard neuroscientists have discovered that when you're fully present, your brain literally rewires itself. Ancient masters knew this secret, and today, science is proving they were right. But here's what will blow your mind. This isn't something you have to achieve. You're already it. So if you've ever wondered why meditation works, why presence feels so peaceful, or how to solve any problem instantly, this video will change everything you think you know about reality itself. Let's start with a question that seems simple, but will shatter everything you think you know. What exactly is this present moment? Most people think the present moment is just now, a tiny slice of time between the past and future. But that's like saying the ocean is just water. You're missing the most important part. Here's what ancient masters understood and modern science is confirming. The present moment isn't in time. Time is in the present moment. Think about it. You've never experienced anything outside of now. The past? You remember it now. The future? You imagine it now. Everything, absolutely everything happens in this eternal now. But here's where it gets really profound. When quantum physicists study consciousness, they've discovered something remarkable. Consciousness isn't produced by the brain. Consciousness appears to be the fundamental fabric of reality itself. And where does consciousness exist? Only in the present moment. This is why mystics throughout history have said the same thing in different words. Buddha called it Buddha nature, your inherent enlightenment. Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you, not will be, is. The Vedas declare, Tat Tvam Asi, thou art that divine consciousness. They weren't talking about some future state you need to achieve. They were pointing to what you already are, right here, right now. This present moment awareness that's reading these words, that is what they called God. Now, if this sounds too mystical, let me show you the hard science that'll blow your mind. Dr. Sara Lazar at Harvard Medical School has been studying meditators for over 20 years. Using MRI scans, she discovered that just 8 weeks of present moment awareness practice literally changes your brain structure. The areas associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation get thicker. The amygdala, your fear center, actually shrinks. But here's the really incredible part. Advanced meditators show something that neuroscientists call default mode network suppression. Let me explain this in simple terms because it's life-changing. Your brain has a network that's constantly running in the background, creating your sense of being a separate me. Your ego, your story, your problems. Scientists can literally see this network lighting up on brain scans when people are lost in thought, worrying, planning, judging. But when you're fully present, really here, now this network goes quiet. And what emerges? pure awareness, consciousness without a center. What mystics have always called no self or unity consciousness. Dr. Judson Brewer at Yale found that experienced meditators have permanently altered this network. Their brains have literally rewired themselves to experience less separation and more connection. They're not just feeling more peaceful, they're accessing a fundamentally different state of consciousness. And it's not just psychological. Present moment awareness activates your parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest mode. Your heart rate variability improves, which is linked to longevity. Stress hormones like cortisol drop dramatically. Your immune system strengthens. Here's what this means. When you're truly present, your body-mind system naturally returns to its optimal state. Why? Because presence isn't something foreign to your system, it's your natural state. It's like tuning into the right frequency on a radio. Okay, so that's fascinating. But how does this actually solve your real-life problems? Let me give you some examples that will make this crystal clear. First, anxiety. Have you ever noticed that anxiety is always about something that might happen or something that happened? It literally cannot exist in the present moment. When you're fully here, now, there's nothing to be anxious about. This isn't positive thinking. This is recognizing that anxiety is just thoughts about imaginary futures. Try this right now. Take 3 conscious breaths. Feel your feet on the ground. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice how anxiety simply isn't available in this space of presence. That's not because you're avoiding your problems. It's because most of your problems only exist in mental time, not real time. Second, relationships. Ever notice how all relationship conflicts happen when people aren't really present with each other? When you're truly here, listening without planning your response, something magical happens. The other person feels it. Presence is contagious. But here's the secret. When you recognize that the same presence that's aware in you is also aware in them, you realize you're not actually separate. This isn't a belief, it's a direct recognition. How can you be in conflict with yourself? Third, decisions. When you're caught in mental loops, trying to figure everything out, you're disconnected from your deeper intelligence. But when you get present, answers arise naturally. Not from thinking, but from knowing. Why does this work? Because when your thinking mind gets quiet, you can access what psychologists call intuitive intelligence and what spiritual traditions call divine guidance. It's the same thing, the infinite intelligence that beats your heart and grows your hair suddenly becomes available for your conscious awareness. This works for everything. Work stress? Get present and see what actually needs to be done right now. Feeling lost in life? Stop future tripping and see what this moment is asking of you. Physical pain? Presence often reveals that much of what we call pain is actually resistance to sensation. Now, let me share the deepest truth that will change how you see everything. When mystics say God is everywhere or God is in everything, they're not speaking metaphorically. They're describing a direct experience that becomes available when you're truly present. Right now, there's an awareness that knows you're listening to these words. That awareness isn't produced by your brain. It's what your brain appears in. That awareness isn't located in your head. Your head appears in that awareness. This awareness that you are has no boundaries, no limits, no beginning or end. It's the same awareness that was here when you were 5 years old, and it'll be the same awareness when you're 90. Your thoughts change, your body changes, your circumstances change, but this aware presence remains constant. This is what every spiritual tradition has been pointing to. This aware presence isn't your personal awareness. It's the awareness, the one consciousness appearing as the many. What we call God isn't something separate from you. It's what you are at the deepest level. When you recognize this, everything changes. You stop seeking happiness in experiences because you realize you are happiness itself. You stop trying to find God because you realize you are the presence in which the search was happening. And here's the beautiful paradox. The moment you truly get this, you realize there was never a you to get it. There's just this presence, this awareness, this aliveness, knowing itself as everything that appears. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I actually access this? The good news is you're already it. But here are some simple practices that will help you recognize what you already are. First, the simplest practice in the world. Throughout your day, just ask, who is aware right now? Don't look for an answer with your mind. Just notice the awareness that's aware of the question. Rest as that. Second, use your senses as doorways. When you're stressed or lost in thought, immediately come to your senses. What do you see? What do you hear? What do you feel? Your senses can only operate in the present, so they're instant portals to now. Third, when you have a problem, instead of trying to solve it mentally, get present first. Ask what's actually happening right now, without my story about it. You'll be amazed how many problems simply don't exist in present moment reality. Fourth, practice what Eckhart Tolle calls gratitude for the aliveness of this moment. Not gratitude for things, but gratitude for the fact that existence is happening at all. This naturally opens you to the miracle of presence. Remember, these aren't techniques to get somewhere. They're ways of recognizing where you already are. You're not trying to become present, you're recognizing that presence is what you are. And when your mind says, this isn't working, or I don't feel anything special, just notice, who is aware of those thoughts? That awareness that knows even doubt and resistance, that's it. That's what you're looking for, except you're not looking for it, you are it. So, what does life look like when you really get this? When you stop believing that you're a separate person having a spiritual experience and recognize that your consciousness itself having a human experience? First, problems don't disappear, but your relationship to them completely changes. Challenges become opportunities for consciousness to know itself more deeply. Pain becomes a teacher rather than an enemy. Second, your relationships become expressions of love rather than attempts to get love. When you know yourself as love, you naturally give what you are. People feel this and are drawn to your presence. Third, your purpose becomes obvious. You're not here to become something you're not. You're here to express what you are. Every moment becomes an opportunity for consciousness to celebrate itself as life. And finally, you realize the ultimate freedom. You are not at the mercy of your circumstances. You are the space in which all circumstances appear. Nothing can threaten what you truly are. This isn't just another spiritual concept. This is the most practical thing you'll ever learn. Because when you truly get that this moment is your point of access to the divine, every moment becomes a holy instant. So I invite you, stop waiting for a better moment. Stop seeking God in the future. Recognize that what you've been seeking has been here all along, closer than your own breath, as intimate as your own awareness. The present moment isn't just your gateway to God, it is God expressing as you. And that changes everything.